Tonight, the streets of Port Pirie come alive to celebrate the redevelopment of the city centre. And we catch up with a young Broken Hill AFL player who's proving his ability in the big league.
This is Southern Cross News with Fraser Goldsworthy.
Good evening. Port Pirie's CBD has been brought to life for the opening celebrations for the newly redeveloped city centre. Thousands of people came out for the event with live music and street activities creating an energetic atmosphere.
Revitalising the Port Pirie city centre. Florence and Alexander Street were a buzz last night with the Spring Into Your CBD street party, celebrating the official opening of the newly redeveloped CBD.
Really nailed it. I think it's been a fantastic afternoon and evening. Lots of families out, great weather, lots of food, a really great event to really open up the streets of Florence and Alexandria here in Port Pirie. It's been fantastic.
The event was a resounding success, with thousands spilling out onto the city streets.
Across the whole event, we would have definitely had a couple of thousand here for sure throughout the day. A lot of families.
Live music filled the air, creating a recreation destination for locals. These streets lined with food stalls and activities to keep the kids entertained.
It's vibrant, it's alive, it just speaks volumes about the community that Port Pirie is.
I loved it when we went on the Jumpy Castle.
Mayor Rhodey says the $4 million CBD upgrade was worthwhile, with new roads, footpaths and trees creating a more attractive community.
Improve the streetscapes of Florence and Alexandria Street as the first step to really sort of get people involved in the CBD again. It was tired, it needed something to happen to it, and I think we've achieved that.
Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
South Australia's first disabled MP, Kelly Vincent, has paid Whyalla a visit to discuss a number of health and disability issues with locals. She's praised the town's ambition in becoming an age and disability-friendly city.
Kelly Vincent's road to becoming an MP has seen her confront both personal and professional obstacles. While there's a long way to go for improving support services for the disabled, she says the introduction of the NDIS is slowly seeing a change.
There are teething problems with a massive reform of this size, but where it is working well, it is transformative and it is making a huge difference.
Ms Vincent held a Q&A in Whyalla to discuss a raft of issues relating to disability. She says a lack of transport and service providers are common issues outside of metropolitan Adelaide.
So they're maybe not as well connected to advocacy bodies or other services to help them link in. They're really hungry for that information. So
Whyalla recently gained an age-friendly city status and is developing an age and disability master plan with the local RDA to help improve services. Ms Vincent has welcomed council's work, saying everyone in the community will benefit from improved local info.
A lot of those needs are really similar, so it's a really wise and sensible investment, and a small investment in the scheme of things in making a big change.
John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
Tumby Bay is one step closer to receiving a silo mural. Award-winning street art network Juddy Roller Studios has been selected to paint the piece, the announcement falling on the back of a push by local communities to create a silo art trail across the state.
The painting is on the wall. Tumby Bay will be the next regional town in SA to receive an eye-catching mural on its silos. Locals couldn't be more thrilled about it.
Got a huge potential for a lot of rural communities to get a silo mural in their town. It creates a focal point, an attraction, something that's unique to the town.
Silo murals have been sweeping the landscape. Canalpin in the state's southeast was the first town to receive a lick of paint, followed by Kimber here on the EP. The success of those pieces has residents in Tumby excited about its potential.
Feedback from businesses in the Kimber community is it's far exceeded what they ever thought it would bring to their town, and it's only early days up there. So, these things, if they're marketed properly, a huge benefit to any town that has them.
A small group of locals has formed the Tumby Bay Progress Association to see the project through, selecting internationally renowned Juddy Roller Studios to complete its vision.
The chosen artists will come to Tumby Bay and live in the town for 2 weeks, get to know the locals, develop in their mind what's unique and special about Tumby, and then they'll develop a concept plan. That's what's going to tell Tumby Bay to the world.
The group is still looking to raise the $85,000 capital to finish the project, which they say is just one of many, helping put Tumby Bay back on the map.
To bring outside money into a community is critical, and if we can capitalise on the attractions we've got, develop them a little bit more to make us more of a standalone destination, it's the way of the future.
Jason Kemp, Southern Cross News.
In a race against the sun's rays and the clock, carefully engineered cars in the World Solar Challenge have been passing through the region. In its 30th year, the race held one of the stops in Port Augusta as participants competed in a 3,000-kilometre course from Darwin to Adelaide.
The World Solar Challenge is no easy feat. Teams made up of students from around the world engineer and race their own cars on the course between Adelaide and Darwin. They have a few requirements. 10% of their energy can be stored, but all of it must come from the sun.
Well, the handling's a bit different. There's no power steering, so that's one challenge, especially in the winds we have here in South Australia. And it gets hot. There's no aircon, so it gets really hot.
While Dutch team Nuon Solar took the winning crown yesterday for the third time in a row, all remaining teams must pull up to Port Augusta's control stop and step away from their vehicles for 30 minutes. Their second time competing, South Africa's Northwest University team has a special advantage.
This is the only rotating solar panel in the whole event. It gives us a lot of power, especially early morning and late afternoon.
With around 300 kilometres to the finish line, Australia's leading team, Western Sydney, are hoping their Aussie pride will keep them ahead.
We've got Kokugiun, which is a Japanese university, behind us. They're somewhere between half an hour to an hour behind us, and they've been like that the entire race. So we've been playing cat and mouse with them for the entire race. We're staying in front, and we're hopefully going to beat them to the finish line.
Amelia Simpson, Southern Cross News.
Stay with us. Still to come on Southern Cross News tonight, the local dancers who've hit the big time in Adelaide. Details next. Police are investigating the theft of a backhoe from a Port Augusta farm. The bright green machine is believed to have been stolen from an Augusta Highway property between Thursday the 28th of September and Tuesday the 3rd of October. Police say there was no damage to the farm fence and that there were no obvious exits for the machine to be moved out. Police are appealing for anyone with information to come forward. UniSA's Department of Rural Health has marked National Health Week with a wellness festival at its Whyalla campus. A number of stalls were set up that mixed fun activities with important lessons on having a healthy headspace.
On a sunny Whyalla day, UniSA got the discussion happening around the cloudy mental state so many people face. Its annual wellness festival brings together community groups and academics to help raise how important it is to tackle the issue.
Celebrate weeks such as National Mental Health Week to help raise awareness around mental health and more significantly is reduce the stigma surrounding mental health as well.
Local support groups were on hand for information, while there were a number of small activities to keep young and old interested. Organisers say they were aimed at getting a point across. A healthy mental state requires a healthy lifestyle.
A holistic view on it as well, so by incorporating the term wellness, it implies that social, emotional and physical well-being that surrounds mental health.
Regional areas like Whyalla are statistically proven to have a higher rate of mental health issues. Mr Watkins says if today can help just one person overcome their issues, they've done their job.
We have a parent or a friend or a colleague or someone in the community that is now more aware of mental health and its stigma, then that's a good thing.
John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
A Harnessing Young Talent workshop is rolling into Port Pirie this weekend, showcasing young musicians across the Mid-North. Students will undertake a series of talent quests where 2 contestants will walk off stage with new music opportunities, winning the Mid-North Country Music Scholarship.
Introducing emerging young talent into the basics of music. Students across the Mid-North are participating in a 4-day workshop focusing on songwriting.
Get the students inspired to get involved in not just songwriting but also the business side and aspect of a successful career in music.
I haven't really done any songwriting yet, which is why I'm doing a workshop to learn some more.
A talent quest will see students performing in multiple categories, battling it out to take home the Mid-North Country Music Scholarship, worth over $2,000.
Students may not necessarily be the winner, but it's the one who will gain most from that experience.
Didn't really have a goal to win it. I just really enjoyed music, and then when I found out about the scholarship, I really wanted to get in to learn more about music.
Workshop facilitator Connie Kiss Anderson has broken the country charts many times, having written a few hit singles. She's offering some simple advice to aspiring musicians.
Becoming a successful musician is work hard, work harder still, and work even harder still. Believe in yourself.
The fun continues across the weekend with a live performance tomorrow night.
Saturday evening, we're going to have to walk our talk and perform for the students and the community as well.
Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
After months of rehearsals, committed Port Augusta dancers have twirled their way into the Grease Arena experience in Adelaide. The major production featured a professional cast and dancers from all across the state, and those from our region are thrilled to have been part of such a fun show.
Giving up precious school holidays, money and sleep, these dancers have had the experience of a lifetime. Performing the iconic hit musical Grease in front of thousands.
It was amazing. The experience was incredible and the dances were hard, but it looked terrific.
Today they showed Southern Cross News a small part of the big show featuring 30 professional dancers and an ensemble of 500. Anderson Dancers principal Lindy says the experience was inspiring.
And the smiles on their face and their enthusiasm that they had, they were on a massive high when they finished. It was just beautiful to see.
With a big cast came a big commitment.
The size of the spectacular is way too difficult when you have people that aren't there, so the commitment that they have to make is huge.
You learn the choreography for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then you run it straight through.
They say after completing this, they'd seriously consider following their passions through.
Some of them, they think that this might be a career path that they'd like to go down, and it's really great for them to experience something totally different.
Amelia Simpson, Southern Cross News.
When we return after the break, the local AFL player who's proving his ability in the big league. We chat to him next. Welcome back. Broken Hill's own Greater Western Sydney giant Isaac Cumming has returned home for some much-needed R&R. The former North Bulldog has just completed his first season in the orange and charcoal.
No matter the time of year, Isaac Cumming is always kicking goals. The Broken Hill born and raised 19-year-old was recruited by the Greater Western Sydney Giants in the 2016 AFL draft. He has spent this season playing for the Giants reserve squad in the North East AFL.
Yeah, mate, it was unreal. Took a while to adjust to living in Sydney and living away from family and friends, but once the living got easy, the footy became easier and funner, and towards the second half of the year I felt really comfortable playing footy over in Sydney.
Throughout the season, Isaac averaged 21 disposals across 15 games, playing along the half-back line. His pressure on the ball carrier saw him record plenty of tackles, including this chase down against Sydney. His outstanding performances, which included 3 games with more than 30 disposals, saw him awarded the NEAFL Development Award. He was also named as an emergency for the Giants AFL squad.
I flew over with the boys to Perth and got a good idea of what happens in an AFL game, and especially before it, and their pre-game routines and stuff like that.
Still putting in the hard yards despite being on a break, Isaac is hopeful 2018 will be his debut year for the Giants.
Yeah, we'll see how we go. Hopefully have a strong pre-season and get through it pretty unscathed, and yeah, we'll see what happens next year, but just looking ahead and having a strong pre-season at the moment.
Patrick Reinke, Southern Cross News.
A new business in Port Lincoln is allowing sports fans to tee off at their favourite golf courses and race around the world's best tracks. Rex's Sports Simulators is allowing locals a unique experience by putting them in the box seat to get a taste of the real thing.
Have you ever wanted to race around Victoria Park or take a swing during the US Open? Well, for those living in Port Lincoln, now you almost can.
Initially wanted to do like a sports bar sort of thing.
And then he came up with it. He's like, okay, I'm going to put in some simulators. I've seen these cars in golf. They look really good.
Rex's sports simulators have just opened their doors, offering a first to the region. From big screens to big swings, the new venture is equipped with the latest technology.
We go right from driving range, putting greens, all the way through to just playing on famous courses and stuff like that all around the world.
The golf experience caters to all ages, from the more advanced right down to beginners. But if high-octane racing is more your fancy, then take a seat behind an F1 car, looking and sounding very much like the real thing.
Cars is always fun because, we verse each other and that gets pretty competitive. And we always have a bit of debate about who's best about the work unit.
These simulators include tracks from Bathurst to Daytona, making them a dream for any racing fan.
Sitting down and racing around Bathurst or having a hit on a Pebble Beach or something like that's always a good feeling. But we go right down to kids where we can even have the soft drinks and play on the PlayStation.
Jason Kemp, Southern Cross News.
Well, the downpour that left many Broken Hill streets flooded has dampened the local cricket comp. The Alma Oval in the city's south will be unable to host the two 2020 games to kickstart the A-grade season. The Jubilee Oval won't be available for another 3 weeks, and the Zinc Oval is already hosting the B-grade. As a result, the A-grade season has been postponed for a week. And on that note, time for this weekend's cricket tips.
Yeah, g'day, and welcome to round one of Port Augusta cricket. This week we see the Premiers Quorn take on South Augusta in Quorn. This should be a very good match. Quorn have been probably the best team over the last 3 years, but haven't tasted grand final success, so this should be a very good match. I'm going to pick Quorn only because of home ground advantage. The other match here at Braddock Park sees West Augusta take on Central Stirling. West do rely on their senior players, while Central Stirling are bringing through a lot of junior players. Again, this should be a good match, but I'm just going to lean towards the more experienced West Augusta to beat Central Stirling. So here are my cricket tips for the round one.
Hello and welcome to round two of Port Pirie cricket. We start this round with Props up against Southport on Port Oval. Props started the season in fine form with a good win over Solly North last week, and Southport were heavily defeated by Wandera. I'm tipping Props in this one. At Globe Oval, it's Wandera up against Solly North. Wandera started the season with a big win last week and looked to be in good form early. Solly North were disappointing with the bat and will need to play a lot better this week if they're to challenge Wandera. I'm tipping Wandies.
Welcome to this week's Port Lincoln cricket tips. First game sees Southern Air and Charlton battle it out at Wangari. Probably the best two teams on paper in the competition at the moment, and I reckon just out at Wangari, Southern Air should be too strong in this game. In the next game is Waybacks and Lincoln South at Ravendale Netball. Be a really good battle this match. I think Waybacks bowling will be too strong and they should get over the line in this one here. And in the final game sees Tasmans and Todd River. Tasmans got a win last week. Todd River unfortunately had a forfeit. I think Tasmans will get up in this one with a few player numbers back, and Todd River's still short on numbers at this stage in the season. Thanks for listening to the Port Lincoln cricket tips.
Stay with us. After the break, Nicole will have all the weather details.
Plenty of good weather on offer over the next few days. I'll have all the details next. Welcome back to the weather now. Looking like we're in for a good run into the weekend with clear skies right across the region today. A top of 24 in Port Augusta, 23 in Broken Hill and Port Pirie, dipping below the 20s in Port Lincoln, and showers continuing in Adelaide for 20 degrees. To the satellite, a bit of cloud over southern parts of South Australia with unstable westerly winds is triggering the odd light shower in the southeast. On the Gulf waters, winds will be east-southeasterly up to 15 knots, seas at around 1 metre. The sun will come up at 6:41 tomorrow, sundown just after 7:30. A cracking day to start the weekend. Clear skies on the way for Port Augusta and Whyalla, edging closer to the 30s, around the 20-degree mark in Coffin Bay and Cleve, and looking pretty good in Adelaide as well with blue skies for 23. Looking ahead, a lovely weekend to get out and about in Port Lincoln. Plenty of sunshine in Cleve on Monday for 31, and continuing to warm up in Woodner as well for 35 on Tuesday. Clouds will be disappearing in Whyalla for a clear 24 tomorrow. A similar story in Port Augusta with warmer temperatures on the way, heading for 36 on Tuesday. A weekend full of sunshine in Kadina for 26 Sunday. The mercury will be climbing over the next few days in Port Pirie, hitting a top of 34 by Tuesday. A bit cooler for Clare, but still warming up from a top of 22 tomorrow to 30 next week, and wrapping up the weekend in Broken Hill with a maximum of 28. So Fraser will be able to get out and about this weekend with sunshine on the way.
Sounds perfect. Thanks, Nicole. And that's Southern Cross News for the working week. Thanks for your company. I'll see you again later for some updates. Until then, though, have a lovely evening and weekend. Good night.